Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas visiting with Sarah Farron from Faith Family Church, talking about Serve Day. Coming up when? What day will it be?
Serve Day is on Saturday, July 15th this year.
But I'm looking at a deadline that says May 19th, and that's coming up much sooner. What is that deadline?
That is the deadline for organizations, nonprofits, and schools to submit a project request. If they have something that they would like for volunteers to come and help them get done on that Saturday, July 15th, then we would love to hear from them and be able to send some volunteers their way.
And how do you do that?
So the simplest way to do that is to send us a quick email at serveday@myfaithfamily.com.
All right, I'm writing this down myself. Okay, serveday@myfaithfamily.com. And will they hear from you, Sarah?
Yeah, they may hear from me or one of our key volunteers who is sort of the Serve Day administrator handling a lot of those details. What we'll do is send you some information about the event. And here's the easiest part. We'll send you a link to an online form. We'll ask all the right questions so you can just answer those, and it'll really help us to know what your project is and even evaluate how many volunteers do you need. And what that is going to look like. We'll put all of that up on a website that is a closed website for Faith Family members only. They'll be able to take a look at all of those projects, sort of filter through and see what they're most interested in, and then sign up to help with your project.
Do you need to be a 501c3?
Not necessarily. Nope. We just want to help. We just want to help. So you don't have to be. I said, last year we were in several schools. We did some painting inside schools. And then we also did some landscaping and some cleaning. I think there was even a group that did put together, for one of the teachers, put together some different supplies for the crafts and projects that they were going to do throughout the school year. So there's really no limit to the type of project, or even the size or the number of projects. We had some organizations that requested maybe 2 or 3 different groups, different types of volunteer opportunities. So we welcome that. If we can help you, we want to do it.
What about geographical location and distance from Faith Family? Because we've got people who might be listening to us in Cambridge, Ohio right now saying,
Sure.
Hey, cool.
Yeah.
So how far are your volunteers willing to travel?
We have volunteers that come from all different directions. So I wouldn't necessarily put a limit on that. The worst that can happen is we put it out there and we don't have anyone from that region. We might have to say, hey, let's try again next year. But I wouldn't put a limit on the distance, because we do have people that drive from every direction to be part of Faith Family. So we're happy to expand our reach.
You said something about people finding out how good it is to serve. What is that? What can you put a finger on or a description on? Why is it so good to serve? What feels so good about it?
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I think it's in some ways a spiritual principle that when we take our focus off of ourself, everyone's going through something, everyone has needs, and sometimes when we think on those things so often or so consistently, it can really bring us down. But when we take an opportunity to, on purpose, put our own needs aside and really focus on how we can be a blessing to somebody else, I feel like there's just something that happens that it is almost hard to put your finger on. Something happens that makes your situation seem not so bad.
You get to do this a lot. Tell us about your position at Faith Family.
Yeah.
Your day job is
Right. So I'm the Director of Missions and Community Engagement. And honestly, I think, how could you have a better job? I get to ask the question, how can we help? And then we problem solve. We try to figure out, okay, here's some of the needs maybe in our community, or I also connect a lot with our partners that are around the world and just figure out how can I take all of the assets that lie within Faith Family Church and leverage those to be a blessing and to meet some needs.
And you've been doing this for how long?
Oh gosh, in several capacities. I've been on staff at Faith Family for about 11 years, but working with community things really off and on throughout my entire time there.
You were doing Turnaround Center.
Yes.
when that was just getting started, right?
Yeah, well, that was back about 11 years ago or so. So I've had my hands in different community, endeavors for probably the entire 11 years that I've been on staff. A little more focused on some of the global things and the community things here in the last 4 years or so.
So, what does a typical day look like for you?
Every day's different.
Yeah,
Isn't that fun? Yeah, every
Yes.
day's a little bit different. But we have an incredible team at Faith Family that really helps to make our outreach efforts happen. An incredible team of volunteers as well. We couldn't do what we do without the people who just give of their time, their talents, their resources to make all of this happen.
People would be surprised when they find out some of the things. Oh, Faith Family did that? I'm thinking of a park, a children's park that got built because there needed to be one. I'm thinking of police getting vests to protect them because the city wasn't able at the time to afford that. So Faith Family steps in just recently, I think, provided some money to help a church that just recently had a fire. And so love seeing one church helping another church by providing actual funds that are such a high commodity right now.
Sure.
Everybody's trying to do their ministry, and it takes money to do that. So to give some of your own to somebody else, that's cool to see. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, we know that we're not the only church in town. We know that we're not the only ones doing, where God's moving. And so we just want to do our part.
But capital C, we are all on one team.
That is 100% correct. We're just simply part of what God is doing. And the more that we can see that, recognize that, and just play our part, that's, I think, where things move forward.
So what else have you got going on? I just thought of 3. What else have you got going on? Because I know you have so many things going on.
Sure. We have 4 different teams that will be going on mission trips this year, which we're kind of excited about.
Where?
We're sending a team to Costa Rica. We've got some going to Mexico, Panama, and Brazil. Unique in Brazil, we have an opportunity to work with one of our global partners who actually does some prison ministry. So we have some of our team just aligns really well with sort of the heartbeat of Faith Family. And we've got our teams that are getting ready to go overseas and be able to just come alongside our partners who are doing prison ministry, similar to what we're doing. And we can just add to what they're doing.
What do you like best about it?
About what I do?
Yes.
I love interacting with people. I love seeing people use their gifts, serving. I love seeing people just have a heart for the kingdom and be able to give, just like what we were talking about, like, hey, we're all looking for money. Why wouldn't we keep it? We have a church that's so generous, and I know that starts from the top, but our people are generous. They see a need, they want to meet it. And I love being a part of something that doesn't hold what we have so tightly, but is open-handed and really gives freely, serves freely, and just watches what God will do through that.
Not to be trite, but how can you receive if your hands are closed?
That's a great point.
It does help to be open-handed and freely give.
Yeah.
Freely we have received, freely give.
That's right. Yeah.
It goes backwards as well. As you're freely giving, somehow you keep on freely receiving as well. It's amazing how that works.
It's beautiful, yes.
It's a beautiful thing. Let's remind everybody what we've got going on here. By May 19th, but you don't have to wait until May 19th, certainly.
That's right.
But by May 19th, we need people to contact you. How and for what?
So if you are part of an organization, a school, a nonprofit, or you just even have connections at a school, a nonprofit, and you think that having some volunteer manpower, so to speak, would help on July 15th as part of Serve Day, we would love to hear from you. You can email us at serveday@myfaithfamily.com. That's serveday@myfaithfamily.com, and we'll send you all the information, send you a little online link to a form that you can fill out, tell us all about the project. It'll help you to sort of navigate how many volunteers and all that good stuff. And we'll just stay in touch with you regarding that project and be able to, over the next few months, find some volunteers and get some work done.
And what if, for some reason, July 15th is not a good day for someone to have volunteers come for whatever reason? The doors are locked and the pastor's on vacation and they're renovating.
Right.
What else could happen? Is there a way, or do you just wait till next year?
We may wait till next year. I think we'll take it case by case. They're certainly welcome to shoot us an email if it fits with one of our other events or small group that might want to participate in something like that. We could certainly, sort of reroute that. But yes, don't hesitate to shoot us an email. If we can help, we will.
Since you've been doing this for so long, 11 years, I didn't even realize it had been that long. Well, because you look exactly the same. But if you could dream and say, oh, man, 5 years from now, this is what I would love outreach to look like, what would that be?
I think we're headed in a beautiful direction where it's not just, one thing or another, but it's where the generosity and the service and people having that heart where in some ways they don't have to wait until the church says, hey, we should do this, but that it's happening all around us. And I believe that it is. I just want to see it, to even a greater capacity where small groups are serving their neighbors and their schools and organizations that they're connected with without waiting for someone to prompt them to do it. And I know that's the direction we're moving in. I see it happening. I get feedback from some of our groups and volunteers all the time. And that to me is a beautiful thing.
All right. Well, that sounds awesome. I just want to remind everybody the email address is serveday@myfaithfamily.com. Send your requests for volunteers on July 15th. Sarah will make sure you've got a bunch of people there.
That's right.
Awesome. All right. But send those in by May 19th. Sarah Farren, thank you so much for all you're doing in our community.
Sure. Thanks.